UFC Fight Night Saudi Arabia is knocking on our door and I'm gonna give you my predictions. So we're gonna start it right off with Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz, and I can already tell you Ikram beats this guy, okay? I think the Whittaker fight was a wake-up call for him. He's probably improved a lot. The crowd is gonna be rooting for him and I just see Ikram winning it, okay? We're not gonna go too deep into analysis if it's not needed, okay? So let's just move on. Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. I think Said beats this guy. I'm not gonna talk about, oh, we have the outside foot battle. I think Said Nurmagomedov. No, I'm not your favorite MMA YouTuber. I'm just a guy sitting in my room making videos on my former gaming PC. I don't even play video games anymore. This is just my YouTube PC, honestly. And if you want some real expertise, just go watch Dan Hardy or DC, dude. I'm literally just a guy in my room. Like I don't know half as much as these guys do. Neither does any MMA YouTuber. So just watch real analysts, watch real fighters or former fighters if you want to see some breakdowns. But yeah, Said Nurmagomedov beats this guy because he just does, let's be honest. And let's move on to Pavlovich versus Rosenstrike. Listen, bro. Rosenstrike beat Tai Tuivasa by split decision. Tai Tuivasa's on a 5-fight losing streak. He beat this guy by split decision. Split? Really? How are you gonna beat Tai Tuivasa by split decision? If I recall correctly, it wasn't even a split decision. I think the judges were just retarded. But anyways, Rosenstrike shouldn't even be a heavyweight, bro. Like, he's not built like a heavyweight in my opinion. He doesn't look anything like a strong, good heavyweight. He should be like a light heavy or a middleweight even. Pavlovich is a fridge. We know his devastating knockout power. He's also on a losing streak. He's lost his last 2 fights. Obviously, he lost to Tom by first round KO and then lost to Russian former friend Volkov by decision. He was very mad, salty as fuck, and I think he's gonna return because this guy's not about to go on a 3-fight losing streak, okay? And he's gonna win either by a devastating KO or a boring decision that will put us to sleep, because that's just heavyweights in the UFC. Either you get a fun firefight which ends quickly, or these guys just have their firefight in the first round and the second and third round they're just gassed trying to somehow out shit each other. Like, they're both shit, but one of them is trying to be less shit than the other. So yeah, I hope this fight ends in the first round. If it doesn't, prepare your pillows, get them out, get your blanket, maybe take a nap. Let's move on to the co-main event now. We're gonna talk about the 2 upcoming fights, which is Shara versus MVP and Izzy versus Imavov, a bit more than I've talked about these fights, okay? I've just quickly skimmed over the main card, but for these 2 fights, we're actually gonna, we're not gonna skim over them, okay? Okay, for the co-main event, we have Shara Bullet versus MVP. Obviously, MVP has the experience and reach advantage, but on the flip side, he's also a lot older than Shara is. And I don't know why, I know this sport, okay? And I just feel like MVP is gonna go down the Michael Chandler route, have a banger debut, then lose some fights. It will be entertaining, but he's gonna lose. Somehow win another one against a kind of mid fighter and then retire with a even record, a 2-2, 2-3, just like Michael Chandler, to be honest. Anyways, they're both unorthodox. It's also home soil for Shara. And I just know the script, bro. I've watched this sport for long enough, okay? Whatever. I'm saying Shara beats MVP. But it's gonna be a crazy striking fest. I hope Shara doesn't go to the grappling. I know MVP won't, for sure. I think it will be a good striking matchup. Shara's gonna win because that's just how it goes in MMA. Let's get to the main event, which is Israel Adesanya versus Imavov. And I'm saying Izzy beats Imavov, and he could beat him really devastatingly, okay? He just has to. Imavov, let's be honest, he's not super skilled, okay? He's not a technical maestro, okay? He's not super skilled. Izzy's defensive grappling should be okay in my opinion. I mean, the only fighter that really consistently took him down at middleweight was Dricus. But we've also seen how to beat Izzy. We found out that pressure can really beat him. I mean, Strickland and DDP, both guys that have recent wins against him, they beat him and they were pouring on the pressure. So was Alex in the 5th, to be honest. So Izzy can really crumble under pressure, in the octagon, I mean. Strickland was just constantly pressing forward and Izzy just couldn't hit him. DDP, obviously, yeah, DDP is just a marauder. And what Izzy especially doesn't like is striking and wrestling being mixed up, just like Jan Blachowicz and DDP did to him. Brunson, for example, was no problem for him because he just spammed takedowns. But if you mix up the striking and wrestling, Izzy really starts getting uncomfortable in the octagon. However, you also need good pressure, because if you have reckless pressure, like for example Robert Whittaker in the first fight, or Derek Brunson, or even think of Kelvin Gastelum in the 5th round where he just recklessly pressured Izzy, that's where Izzy excels, where he becomes a sniper, because remember, he's a counter puncher. Izzy would rather have you come to him than come to you, okay? He doesn't want you running at him and doing whatever, being a marauder, but he does like being on the back foot or being on the counter. I believe Izzy wants to finish him early, at least he should, because the longer the fight goes, the more difficult it's gonna get. Izzy's cardio really didn't look that good against Dricus, but then again, that's just Dricus. I think Dricus just drains everybody pause, like including himself. When Dricus is in the octagon, for some reason, both guys are super tired at the end of a fight. Izzy has to finish him early, and I think he has to capitalize on Imavov probably going forward. He has to go to the leg kicks, but try to not get taken down. But in general, I would favor Izzy, but I would not be surprised at all if Imavov pulls it off. I don't think he would submit Izzy, even though it would be possible. I think Imavov's path of least resistance is just mix up striking and grappling and try to wrestle fuck Izzy against the cage, on the ground, in the full guard, and try to secure like rounds 3 to 5 and then win 48-47. Split decision probably. And I think that's the best way for Imavov to beat Izzy, but I don't think that's very likely. So, thank you for watching.